So The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has been out for a while now, and honestly, it's everything I ever wanted. But it did leave me thinking, where do we go from here? How can they make something better than this? Here are just a few ideas that I have. Firstly, keep the core gameplay the same. In my opinion, the gameplay in Breath of the Wild is the best out of any Zelda game ever. I'm really impressed with what they've done with it, and I just don't think they really need to make any changes to the core gameplay. Full voice acting. Like, actually full voice acting. Not just during a very few select amount of cutscenes scattered throughout the game. I want to be able to talk to any old random NPC and listen to them speak. What would be even more cool is if you passed by villagers and could hear the random conversations they're having. Not unlike Metal Gear Solid 5 or Final Fantasy 15. If those games can do it, Zelda can do it. I know a lot of people dislike the voice acting, but I enjoyed it a lot. Maybe Nintendo can just give you the option to turn off voice acting altogether, or at least allow dual audio so you can hear the original Japanese version if you prefer that. A more robust soundtrack. The ambient noise and light variations of old melodies are cool, but maybe add a little more of that great orchestrated music the series is known for. Bring back some of those amazingly catchy and memorable tunes that just have you humming or whistling away for hours on end, even after you're done playing the game. Add a little more interesting cinematography to the cutscenes. I'm not saying Zelda should become Uncharted.
Oh crap! We're on fire! Enough with the damn camera! We gotta bail out!
But why not include some really cool action sequences? Action-y cutscenes shouldn't be limited to just a couple of parts near the end of the game. Not only are they just cool to look at, but they would help further incentivize getting from place to place. Not only would you get to talk to someone new and get some new item or ability like normal, but you'd also have the ability to see Link or another character do something badass. I think it'd be fun. I also think the next Zelda game should include some more interesting aesthetics. By interesting, I mean something akin to Majora's Mask. Not necessarily in tone or premise, but rather in terms of story progression. I think the best games in the series are those that have taken some risks, so it would do Nintendo good to try stepping out of their comfort zone again. But in fact, it almost can't be too similar to Majora's Mask, or it would feel just like another case of fan service, like how Twilight Princess was obviously catering towards Ocarina of Time fans. It's hard to say what exactly Nintendo could try next. They've done the realistic thing, they've done the cartoony thing, they've done a weird combination of the two. They've even done an over-the-top anime thing in one of their spin-off titles, so how about a Zelda game that takes place in a world of forestry? Imagine like the Forest Temple from Wind Waker, but a whole game like that. That may be sort of a poor example, but I don't know, maybe something more similar to the swamp area in Majora's Mask. A world that's overflowing with jungle-like environments, for instance, could be really intriguing. Or how about a Zelda game that takes place in the distant future? They've toyed with this idea a little bit in the past, so I don't think it would be too far out there. These may just be locations for the atmosphere of the game to grow within, but you can see how these different environments can bring about aesthetic changes in and of themselves. When you think of jungle environments, you think of a very natural, down-to-earth atmosphere where all of the characters would be more involved with protecting their homes. Likewise, when you think of a future environment, you probably imagine an abundance of technology, metal everywhere, a world interconnected through cyberspace. But the game wouldn't have to stick straight to those ideas either. That's the great part about Nintendo. They can take an idea like that and run with it. I also think that the next Zelda game should keep with the tradition of implementing a new mechanic that sticks with you throughout the entire game that doesn't involve switching between worlds. I thought the werewolf thing from Twilight Princess was kind of a cool idea, but poorly implemented since Link was much more useful in his regular form, and anytime you would play as the wolf, you just wished you were playing as normal Link. A transformation would be cool, but both forms would have to be equally enjoyable, similar to the transformation masks from Majora's Mask. I actually started writing this script before I played Breath of the Wild, and I was originally going to argue that the game shouldn't be too long, that it should be a shorter experience rather than a longer one. My reasoning with this is because my personal favorite Zelda game is also one of the shortest ones, Majora's Mask. Conversely, Skyward Sword, one of the most divisive Zelda games, was also one of the longest ones. Tons of dungeons, tons of backtracking. But after playing Breath of the Wild, instead of saying that the next Zelda game should be shorter, I'm gonna say it should be as long as the player wants it to be. Breath of the Wild did amazing with this. I've never been as impressed with how a game handled its length. The fact that you can just go straight to the final boss after the tutorial section is cool enough on its own, but the fact that the game also encourages you not to do that, how it incentivizes exploration by building up your character and making him stronger, that's super cool because it allows you to determine how long you want the game to be and how difficult you want the game to be. And finally, I feel like this goes without saying, but Nintendo should not just blindly follow all of these ideas. With Breath of the Wild, I think they've really shown that Nintendo still really knows what they're doing, at least half the time, and they can come up with some amazing games all on their own. Sure, that was probably definitely influenced by a lot of fan feedback, but either way it shows that Nintendo still have a great bunch of developers. So what do you think? Do you like my ideas? Do you have something else you want to see in the next Zelda game? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos like it, check me out on Twitter if you want to see what I'm up to, and if you want to watch more cool gaming videos, check out limitedlives.com. Thanks for watching!